different levels to this, okay? So think about, let's talk about this hook grip. What do I want to be doing? Obviously I want to be trying to walk Crippy this way if I can make a wedge, and then I'm going to be starting to swim my little finger towards his little finger, so the way I've turned this grip up, and that's going to be an easy strip for me, if that makes sense. Options to push this down and now get into passing positions. So let's talk about the grip. Switch positions, bro. Has to be the most important part of spider guard. Just turn this way, buddy. So when I make that first initial grip, that's our hook grip. I mean, rock climbers climb mountains with this grip. It has to be strong. So if you're messing around and you've got like a dweeb grip here, you're just going to be waking up in the morning with deformed hands. You'll not be able to hold your breakfast spoon in your hand because you're just constantly getting grips broke. So this is the hook grip that we want, and I connect it to my body. So once I put that spider hook in, watch, I'm connecting my elbow to my body. If Crippy's trying to pull that grip, I'm hanging on it. And I'll make it even harder, watch. I lift my ass off the mat, pull it now, bro. That's effortless. He's carrying my weight. Now if he moves to the side, I'm extending my leg. If he brings in a wedge to try and kill that arm, now he'll want to pivot your hand. Yeah, I'm moving my hand with him. So in other words, when he, if you just turn right around, yeah, back facing that way, perfect. Great, perfect there. Okay, so now when he's there, if I let him get his little finger to my little finger, you know, he's broke the grip, yes. So watch, my arm can turn. As he tries to turn, I just block that. I just go with him. That makes sense. And notice now the position Crippy's in. Boom. Del X is there. You know? As human beings, we get, you know, you get so fixated in trying to break a grip that you're not aware of other stupid things that you're doing. So we want to be thinking about when we make that grip here. Okay. And I have the spider hook in, and I connect my elbow to my body, and I lift my butt off the mat. If I feel him rotating his hand, I'm just going with it. He wants to come little finger, I'm turning. Let's talk about this grip. So my right hand wants to be at his clavicle, just where his collarbone is. And then I'll be pushing back on that leg and putting Crippy in the fifth vulnerability. His head's in front of his shoulders. Anytime you've tried to pass guard with your head in front of your hips, it sucks. You hate jiu-jitsu. And this is going to set up lots of different things. Once I'm here, I'll be putting my foot on the mat. I'll be making him take a step. That's going to allow me to transition into X guard, and we'll be looking to hit sweeps and things from that position. I also want to tuck my elbow on the side of the collar grip. So when I'm here and I make that grip, my elbow is in my hip. And if I feel him trying to posture from here, I just lift my hips. So he's carrying my weight, if that makes sense. So we want to be thinking about our grips, staying tight, but not gripping to the point that we're exhausting our grip. Sometimes if you grab the collar and lapel, you're so fixated on keeping a strong grip, you're actually tiring your grip. You want to be making that hook grip and just sort of going with it. And you'll feel when you play this game, at the start you're going to suck at this guard, and you'll wake up tomorrow with sore hands from the exertion of playing it. But as you get better, you'll be just gripping enough to keep it and letting things go when it gets more difficult. You're in the bottom, bro. So we talked about this collar grip is good, we want it, but that's if he's standing. We want to let it go if he drops space. So Kirby's playing his guard, we're here, okay, I'm standing. I feel quite uncomfortable from here. But what's going to happen if I drop, say, the combat base from this position? Okay, why would I want to do that? Anybody? Well, now, because I've dropped down, he's controlling this. He's not controlling my hands. That makes sense? Take it back a step. So from there, I've dropped the combat base, because what is combat base? When we talked about guard passing, it's a staging position. I remember when we were doing Danaher's mesocycle, get to a mechanical or tactical advantage, combat base is a safety position. From there, because he's controlling my collar, I can remove this with my elbow, push down, and if Crippy decides to pull me forward, he's pulling me into the guard pass. Does that make sense? So there's a time to let go of the collar, and there's a time to keep it, switch positions. So say he was standing, I had the spider hook, I had the collar grip, I had him push back. Now he drops to combat base. The minute he drops to combat base, I wouldn't drop that side. Why? Okay, stay there, relax. No, go back to there. Why does he not want to drop to that side? Because I'm controlling that arm. You know, it'd be very hard for Crippy to get his left knee over my leg, but if he goes to the other side, perfect. Now he can push this down and bring his knee over. Yes. Does that make sense? Just turn this way, buddy. So, give me that, perfect. So if he drops to here, right, all I do is I let go and I find this, and shallow lasso comes in. Okay? And then I can start to play the game. And now, because he's closer to me, this is going to set up all your submissions, guys. You know, if he's in combat base, I can swim this under, pull it through. Omoplata's there. We're going to look at all that stuff. He might also go to his knees. So say if he was standing, I'm playing spider guard, I've got the collar grip. Now he just drops to his knees and we're there. Okay? So if that's the case, I can't get triangles with the collar grip posture. Alright? But I can if I switch to here and I throw in a shallow lasso. Does that make sense? And then I can start to thread that through, kick that through. There's the triangle trap. Triangles are here. You know? So we want to have this ability when we're playing this guard, because there's only 3 positions I can be in. I can be standing, I can drop to 1 knee up, or I can drop to 2 knees. So what we're looking for is, don't worry about entrances tonight. We're going to cover these on separate nights. But let's just say I'm standing. Crippy wants the collar grip and the foot on the hip. Does that make sense? And we'll be looking to work from this position. But if I drop to combat base, he's immediately switching to the grip and throwing in the shallow lasso, or a deep lasso if he chooses to. And if I'm on knees, he's going to be doing the same. And anyone that was here for when we did Bradley Hill's omoplata system, you're going to love this position, which is probably why from a standing perspective, I'll be standing to pass the spider guard. Why? Because I have more mobility, okay? I can move a lot more easier, get your grips, and quicker when I'm on my feet, and I can cut angles a lot easier. It's very hard to pass open guard when you're on your knees, but maybe I'll drop the combat base to try and force this, and then he grabs my thing. Now I'm coming up. You know, I might then switch and I'll not let him, so you're looking to get the collar, and then I can start to play the game from there. There's so many layers to this. So the drill is, 1, if I have the spider hook and the collar and the foot on hip, Crippy drops to combat base, I just switch to the sleeve and throw in a shallow lasso. And if you know any stuff from here, that's cool, you can add that in as your first part. Okay, notice the way that from this position, if Crippy now tries to do a throw by, it's very difficult. He has to stand up. Does that make sense? If he drops down to combat base, there's no way he's going to do a throw by. Okay, because I have him, I have my shallow lasso in and I've got sleeve control. Okay, so having this ability to switch now, if he comes back up again from that position, I will go deep, pull him down, get the grip, and I push him back. Okay, so transitioning with those 2, and then we want to also focus on our grips. So our spider hook grip, we want to make sure that's a hook grip. My elbow's connected to my body, and anytime I feel him, say, backing away from me, I'm lifting my hip and I'm pushing. Sometimes the foot's on the hip, sometimes I'll push on the thigh. The three main positions for this hand will be collar, sleeve, or sometimes I'll grab the pants, okay, if it's available. So this hand will be either be on the pants, it will be on the sleeve, or it will be on the collar, okay? Again, you can add in your drills. Crippy moves to my right, I'm turning on to my right side, but now with emphasis on the grips. That elbow's tucked to my body. He tries to bring his knee in and swim inside. Difficult. Also, this grip, my elbow's connected to my body. If I feel I'm trying to posture, I just lift my hips. And again, even from there, you can see options present themselves with the open elbow and stuff. So just adding in that there, focus on your grips, guys, and focus on